Good morning. It's the Wall Street Weekly Wrap Up, March 16th, 2024. Not a lot of news today other than the CPI coming out this week. No major earnings, but we had some news. Definitely start with the Boeing issue because that was, it seemed like every day. Boeing plane lands in Oregon, missing a panel, a 787 nosedives. What a horrible feeling that the plane's going straight down. DOJ is doing an investigation of Boeing, and a whistleblower was found dead. And not a lot of good news. You can see Boeing, the trend line that it was in the uptrend is all gone. It's down there now. The question is, will Boeing beat the low down here? The last 10 years, it got down to $80 in the COVID time when that completely dropped, and that would have been a good time to buy. But a lot of people are getting nervous because they're looking at this bottom, and it's pretty close. United Airlines, of course, had the missing panel, and of course they had a San Francisco plane from Dallas Fort Worth coming in with a hydraulic leak, and then flight going to Sydney had to turn around, go back to San Francisco to two maintenance issues, whatever that is. So United's been in an upward channel, but it's at the bottom end of it, and so travel is pretty good. I still think a lot of people are seeing high demand. Summer is going to be pretty good for a lot of airlines for passengers. Business travels is coming back, so a sector that should be up, but United's having problems. And our indicators, crude oil above 80, so everybody's feeling the pain. If you didn't get a price increase at your gas station last 2 weeks, that'd be a surprise. Natural gas still under $2, and gold 2,100 still. It's a good number. Everybody's watching the copper. Boy, a big run in copper. FCX, which we own, is the largest copper producer, and also does gold. But now they feel the economy's going good because remember, copper is used in almost all commercial and residential buildings, and we should see an increase as that area picks up. Uranium, wow, it was high, sky high. Now we're coming down pretty low. So a lot of people are thinking, well, what's happening? Well, it's finally stabilizing. Prices are coming out there. We went through a pretty lumpy period, and now it's going to be lower for the nuclear plants. The S&P is still the best index right now, which is rare, 7.3% up. If we take a look at the SPY, which is the ETF for it, and a nice upward channel, I like this. I think the slope's too high. If it was more of a gradual slope, like 30 degrees like this, it'd be better, but, it's at the bottom part of the range. I can expect some sell-off, but we'll watch it. These are the numbers that everybody's taking a look at. A lot of people think they're going to rotate out of tech into the other areas, but I think it's already been done. I think they did that a lot of it in November. But be diversified, be in the best of each sector. Coals we sold it. The revenues came out here. Here's the issue: the revenues fell 1%. Walmart's up, even Dick's Sporting Goods up, but they have a good brand in Sephora, and that's doing well, but the rest of that retail is horrible. So we're not going to put up with a company that can't grow its revenues with a hot product inside. And comp sales decreased 4%. So there's a lot of negatives to coal. We got out at 27.19 cents, and it's already down, to 24 something. And is it going to go down here? Well, it could be an ugly 3 months. If you can go from this top, which we almost hit before, and drop in the next 3 months, that's where we could be. And we might think about picking it up, but the cosmetic line alphas are our star now. CPI went up 0.4, 3.8 national. A lot of people don't think they're going to get the CPI below 3%, and that could possibly be true. What's costing the money? Well, look at it. Fuel cost goes up, transportation costs go up. Of course, housing is crazy, and everybody's out there paying more and more for rent, and food away from home, is up there. So it's talking about you're going to the fast food restaurants that's out there, and I think there's a problem. I was watching the Steak and Shake in my town. $14 for a cheeseburger. Wow, that's a lot of money for a cheeseburger. So people start thinking, I think that's not what I'm going to get. What's good is gas. Got a gas stove, gas heat, gas water heater, gas furnace. Wow, you're doing all right. It's been a nice surprise. TikTok House passed 15-0 in the committee. overwhelmingly in the vote of the House, they have to either divest in 6 months from China, or they face an app ban, which is death. And of course, TikTok tells all its users that Congress is doing it. They flooded Congress, and that just ticks them off. So the Senate, not so sure if it'll pass. That's what they're going to look at. So how's it going to affect companies like Snap? Well, Snap's at the low end of its travel range. Snap is now like a TikTok. I mean, I get the notifications every day of the new videos, and the algorithm is great because it's showing you fun videos. That's a little bit different than TikTok, which is based on the music stuff. These are people that are, doing things with pets, sports, personal things, and it's, I find it pretty fascinating. You can find 10, 15 minutes real quick. Of course, the advertisers are all going to be like every third Snap, so they're going to get good monetization, whereas used to be there wasn't anything being made. So now we're seeing a lot of people start to go to the Reels and Meta and Snap, and I think that's going to be a beneficiary. So again, quarter before the earnings, not too good, but I think this quarter coming up is going to be good because you're going to get more advertising. They're getting a lot more user interface. So this is a company, I think, if you're going to take a chance now, that's the time to buy it. Apple, it's having problems. They had a good quarter. This was a positive earning quarter. It broke the 4-quarter losing streak. But what did it do? It's gone down. I mean, they paid a lawsuit saying they're concealing the falling demand for iPhones in China. What I always watch is Apple's, half the revenue is almost iPhones. So if that's falling, that's not good. And this stock is having a hard time getting back to 200 levels. A lot of people are wondering how far can it go. Here's our intermediate stop. There's a stop over here, but it's not going to be good. And Bitcoin shot up to 73,000. This is a nice parabolic jump. I mean, it's like a slope over 60 degrees. That's crazy. But once it got to 73,000, they jumped it right back to 60,000. So when would you want to buy it? Well, I hate to say I'd like to buy it at the lower end of the channel, which is not now. But if you want to buy the miners are cheap. All of them are at the lower range for the last 6 months. We own Riot, we own BT, and that's what I would think about. And again, the only one we sold this week is Kohl's. We didn't buy anything. We're overweighted stocks anyway, so it doesn't need to have any more. But if you look at the year-to-date chart, which I always love using it because it reminds you that you're doing good. Nvidia up 77%. ARM up over 50. The ARM's not on the S&P 500. Meta. Wow, look at this. Now, Google is right up there, but we don't have it. We have Novo Nordisk, which is going just as good. Amazon's still solid. Microsoft's solid. Of course, we don't have the two big red spots, Apple and Tesla. You shouldn't have them either. Oil, look at ExxonMobil, 11%. That's pretty good. So we own JP Morgan, up 11%. Remember, our goal, if we can get an 8% year, it's a good year. So you're getting the best companies in each sector doing well, and that's what we want to have. And of course, look at the red spot of Boeing. I don't know what it is, but it's not going to be good. We own, Lockheed Martin down about 3%, but that's, we're going to buy a manufacturer, and we got to be able to, figure out what we're going to have and keep with it. Again, utilities, all negative this year. REITs, mostly negative this year. So, like I said, I think it's good. Look at the Merck. Man, Merck's 11% up. Pfizer's a little bit negative, but a lot of good news out there, a lot of good stocks we have, and we should be pretty good. See you next week. Have a good week. Stay warm.